Autumn review. Autumn review. Spring is almost upon us, and after I reviewed every single Ed Sheeran song in this massive 2-hour video, some of you have been asking me, Joel, where's the Autumn Variations review? I'm sorry it's taken me so long, but I have to let this music soak for a while. Sometimes the songs I love when I first hear the album fall off for me, and there's ones that I don't care for a lot that end up being my favorite on the album. So I needed a few months to just listen to it time and again to really get to my final opinions. Now let me warn you before we get started, this is not a deep, harsh, critical analysis ripping apart every song. No, this video is fangirling. I like this album a lot. I would actually describe this album as like a mood put into an album. It's somber, chill, and reflective, and everything good. It really is uniquely an autumn album, and I think that's pretty cool. So because I like the album so much, I'm not starting the tier list at F. I'm gonna start it at C, then B, A, S, triple S, and finally, royalty tier for the best songs on the album.
World stops, just us.
The first track, Magical, is about being in love and that feeling of connection with someone, just being so magical.
As we begin, is this how it feels?
Oh man, I love that transition into the second chorus, and the harmonies are just so good. And this is the only part of the song I don't like a whole lot. I think the timbre of the horn is pretty cool, but I don't know. I think the notes are kind of lame. This instrumental, I think it's necessary, but that melody in particular doesn't do a whole lot for me.
This is magical.
Magical is such a great killer way to start the album. This is one I find myself going back to over and over again the last few months. It's one of the only like general love songs on the album. There are other love songs that exist here are more like specific stories, but this one's more just like a general, the feeling of being in love. So for me, this is one of my absolute favorites. I'm tempted to kick us off with a royalty tier, but I think it's slightly not there for me. So I'm going to give this triple S tier, still very high marks. Magical is magical. Next up is a nice little song called England. This is a very nostalgic song talking about home, talking about how things have changed and developed over time, and just what he loves about England. And while I don't necessarily relate to any of the things that are specific to England, there are some things that kind of just remind me of like small town, small area vibes. And I grew up in a town very, very small of less than 1,000 people. So I could connect with a little bit of it. And it's a really fun song on top of that.
Only one road sign telling cars to slow down, and a long drop in the ocean.
All right, this bridge is stellar. Check this out.
And it's time to escape all the heavy of this. There is nothing like washing away. I find this country of mine gets a bad reputation for being cold and gray.
England is a wonderful, fun song that just makes you feel like home. I feel like he does such a great job of just describing things in like a very real human way. One thing I don't love about the original recording is I feel like the drums are like going wild in the song, but they're just kind of quiet. Let me show you what I mean.
To pull over.
You hear that? There's like tons of Tom stuff. There's like he's on the ride a little bit and like the snare. And I was like, oh, it's so quiet. I want it to be like not double, but if I could get like 20% more of what those drums are doing, I think I would like this track a lot more. England is an awesome song, and despite Ed writing in the first verse that the air feels like it cuts you, and then later writing in the bridge that the country has a bad reputation for being cold, I'm still gonna give this one solid, A or S, A or S. I feel like I'm feeling S. I'm just feeling generous today. It's a good song. I want to listen to this whole album all the time. Next up, we got Amazing, but is it amazing?
I caught a sickness and they don't know the name of it.
Immediately, I love how he starts and the piano kicks in on the second beat. So it's like, done, so good. Cool chord progression too.
I can feel amazing, but this is all that I can feel too.
This is a really funny music video. 10 points for the fan music video. This is great.
I wish I could feel amazing, but this is all that I can feel today.
Alrighty, amazing. I almost want to give it a higher ranking just for the music video, but just based on the song, I absolutely love the lyrics. I feel like this is a song that's all about trying to feel the way you think you should feel or how people want you to feel and trying to change who you are for that and just fighting against that. So the only thing I wish is that it just did a little more dynamic. Like by the time I'm hearing the third verse, I feel like I've heard this, and I'm just kind of like ready for something new. So I either wish it did something new dynamically or that the third verse was more of like a bridge structure. So it's not a bad song. I absolutely love it. Again, this is all songs I like a lot. But for me, amazing. I'm probably going to leave it right where I dropped it in A tier. It's just a little less than these other two. Still a good song though. Plastic Bag, probably the only track on this whole album that really feels more like a radio song. Although none of this album really feels like super made for radio. It just feels like a very here's like singer-songwriter stuff. A lot like Plus kind of did, but even more so than that. Now, Plastic Bag's an interesting one because I feel like it's trying to touch on a lot of things. It's really just like a story of what's going on in his life right now. I feel like Ed pretty much does these on every single album. Like there's one song that's more of like, here's a catch up with my life. Like on Divide, I feel like that's Eraser, and on Equals, I feel like it's Tides. But yeah, let's give Plastic Bag, a song about finding your happiness in drugs, a listen. Okay, these fan reactions are all very sweet and cute, but they're always framed a little bit like, oh my goodness, Ed Sheeran's in my house. But we have this reality TV problem where there's a camera crew in your house. But in all seriousness, I do think these living room recordings were super cute and an amazing idea.
And there's no doctor to stop this bleeding, so I left home and jumped in the deep end. It's just me and now all my demons are heavy.
Oh man, I love how he cuts the end of the verse and makes it the first words of the sentence of that pre-chorus. It's such a smooth transition. It's just me and then all my demons are heavy. It's really nice.
Take me to the other side.
I'm glad that live his voice cracks like my voice cracks. It just makes me feel like singers are a little more human when I have the same failures. I fail constantly. So hearing someone that's this talented have a little bit of a crack, it helps. It helps. Thank you for leaving that in.
Go. That's a standing ovation.
That's how I feel when I'm done. Go. That's the song. Plastic Bag. I feel like there's no way around it. The storytelling's so good. It's a very honest song, but also just very poetic kind of lyrics. It's got a lot of cool musical things for me. I know it's like the radio song, so it feels like the obvious pick, but it has to be royalty tier. This is just an awesome song. There's no way around it. It's just an awesome song. Next up, we got Blue. I'm so blue, ooh, ooh, blue, ooh, ooh. Wait, did anyone else listen to this VeggieTales song growing up? This.
I'm so blue, hoo-hoo, blue, hoo-hoo, blue, hoo-hoo. I'm so blue, I don't know what to do.
Let me be clear, that song is royalty tier all the way. I have to make a whole new tier for how good that song is. Anyways, the Ed Sheeran song Blue is unsurprisingly a very sad song. This is a song all about a relationship that's come to an end, but you're still not over it and still wanting more out of that relationship. So let's give it a listen.
Oh, it took a while to read the signs, but she used to be a friend of mine. Silence ain't golden, you know that it's only blue. Blue.
Hey, that blue, it's almost like blue, blue. You could just jump into that, Ed. I mean, were you thinking about VeggieTales?
Blue. It's only blue. Oh, it took.
Okay. See, this is how I feel when I record, especially if someone's helping me record. I'm like, I did the thing. Okay, we done. I could never do music videos like celebrities do. It's terrible. Filming by myself is awkward, but like filming with other people, like a crew, oh. I am probably a little biased and I like lonely, sad breakup songs more than other songs. So Blue, for me, as a song, it leaves me wanting more of it. I think that leaving me wanting more is good. It should leave you wanting more because the song is about wanting more of a relationship, a friendship or relationship that's ended. So I think that's actually a good thing. Blue, great song. I'm going to give it a S or triple S. I think I like it as much as I like Magical. So I'm going to give it a triple S, actually. I think Blue is one of my favorites on the album. One thing I really like about this song is how it kind of tricks you when the chorus lands. Like, Silence is Never Golden part, because it's the same melody, I think, as like the verses. So it sounds like we've fallen back into a verse, and then suddenly you're like, oh, this section is a little bit different. It's a chorus. American Town. I see you trying to appeal to me, Ed, but you're not going to get me. This song is ridiculously catchy. Like, in terms of like songs that have like the catchiest melody, this is it. And to be fair, it's a pretty cool song. It talks about being in the city and being an English girl in an American town. My song synopsises are amazing. It is kind of a hard song to summarize because honestly, it's just Ed Sheeran talking about his wife and being in New York and doing New York things like getting Chinese food and like it being cold and wearing jackets. I don't know. It's a cool, really catchy song. Let's just listen to it.
A long way from home, haven't seen you in so long.
I love songs that just kind of jump in lyrically like that. It's cool. It's
American town. In an American town.
that little lick's nice. It's nice. It's like simple, but like, mwah.
An English girl in an American town. Roll over the elevator to the 5th floor. I'll ring on the buzzer, then you'll be right down. I wish time would freeze.
Okay, I'm going to try to soften the blow on the mean comments I'm about to get. It seems like no matter what, where I rank a song, every song is someone's favorite song. And for me, this one isn't. When I first heard the album, I thought, oh yeah, this is a bop. I really like this song. And it really feels like this might be like maybe the most popular one on the album, maybe after Plastic Bag. Like, this is the one I keep hearing people talking about. Like, it's so cute, and it is cute, and like romantic, and it is romantic, and it's fun. It's ridiculously catchy. However, it doesn't do it for me. Like lyrically, I don't super connect with it, which isn't always a deal breaker. But like also like musically, I don't love the verses, and I'm not like in love with the chorus. I think the pre-chorus is actually my favorite part of the song. The da 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 da. But other than that, I don't adore the song. So for that reason, I'm sorry. I don't want to upset anyone because I enjoy the song. But I'm gonna give it a B tier. And remember, on a normal tier list from F up to S, a B is not a bad ranking. So let's just remember that. A B, it's a good passing grade. You did well on the exam if you got a B. So I like American Town. I would never skip the track when I'm listening to the album, but I just had to put it a little down. So I'm sorry. I feel like I'm really putting up the defenses here. I just know this is a popular one, and I just like it a little less. And if you're mad at me for that, well, then that's on me. I'm sorry, I'm really stupid, but That's On Me reminds me of a very classic, like Ed Sheeran kind of rap song that you would get on like Plus or a Multiply maybe. That is the vibe of this song. And there's a lot of songs in this album that really remind me of Plus, but maybe this one more than most. So let's listen to it.
Is this just getting older?
A dampener on things.
What was that name? Beatriz Santa Maria Pinha. I don't know how to say Pinha. Oh, it's probably Portuguese.
Is this just getting older? I can't get away from this rain. I'm starting to think that it's me, and I wanna just create things, but the longer it takes, I feel drained. Go inside like all day, regretting the things that we say.
These fan music videos are something else. They really crack me up. This guy's amazing. Where'd you find this actor? He's amazing.
I can't help myself but cry every time that I realize maybe I'll never find my smile.
That's On Me is a really cool song. It's got that really classic Ed Sheeran style rap, so I think I'm kind of a sucker for that. It's pretty cool. It talks about going through hard things, dealing with the consequences of your own actions. Kind of like an Amazing, I feel like there's a little bit of an undertone of like you need to feel a certain way or think a certain way, and the chorus, I think there's a little tongue-in-cheek in the like, well, that's on me if I don't feel that way, if I can't get over this. So I think it's interesting how the song contrasts like pretty serious, heavy things with a really happy, bright sounding chorus. Like you could almost put happy lyrics to that chorus and it would be like a good like send-off song to a musical. Like it's so upbeat and fun. I love That's On Me. I think it's a great song. I'm going to go ahead and give it an S tier ranking. We're going to slow things back down with another sad song called Page. Page is a song about being taken out of your comfort zone or pulled out by someone and then being abandoned and being unable to move forward and stuck where you're at. So just having that feeling and dealing with that. So let's give it a listen. Also, can we just talk about how clean these people's floors are in these fan videos? Look at this. They cleaned before he got there. No one's floor looks that good. Mine don't. You can't see this behind me, but it's not that clean. It is not that clean. Someone mopped that floor before this video. They knew this was happening. Or maybe I'm just gross. I don't know.
I'm a half-read story. I was fine on the shelf. Why did you take me down?
Hold on, is that a glorious PlayStation 5 back there? That is a hot commodity. These, well done, well done.
You like it?
Yeah, for sure.
Of course they like it. It's amazing. Also, I mean, I know it's like a good, like, casual question to ask him. I'm clearly not criticizing it, but can you imagine if he was like, do you like it? And they're like, you know, you've written better songs. I love Paige. It's one of those songs that the first time I heard it, I was instantly in love with it, and that has not faded for me. I think, for me, this is actually going to be our second royalty tier. This is a favorite for me on the whole album. I think it's just a beautiful song, expresses that feeling so well, and it's just a nice melody. You can just keep listening to it over and over. I could get stuck on that page for a long time. There's a train coming through right now, so I'm patiently waiting to film the next segment. Let's watch most insane drum solo in school, and I'll be a react channel. Next up, we got Midnight. This is a fun, upbeat song. It's got that drum machine kind of vibe to it, like a lot of the songs on Equals kind of started. So let's turn this one on, and we'll give it a listen.
Good morning there. What a way to start the day. Sorry I missed your call. It was silent for the song.
That's a real problem. Like, you turn your phone on silent while you're performing. If I'm doing something live or like recording a video, so you put your phone away on silent, and then people are like, I called you 5 times. Why didn't you answer? I'm like, I was busy. It was silent for the song.
It's natural to be consumed with unrelenting fear. With unrelenting fear.
I like that. That's good. It's good lyrics.
Midnight in your arms.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my boy's going crazy on that snare drum. Hear that? What do I do with you? Okay, I feel like this is the happy turnaround the album really needs after the 2 songs that came before it. I also feel like this song has the strangest structure. Like, it almost feels like a verse and then 2 pre-choruses. Like, I don't know if one of those really is a chorus. They both kind of feel like sections going to something, and then it just has an instrumental. So I guess maybe the chorus is just the at midnight in your arms, hey, hey, at midnight in your arms, hey, hey. But I love the structure. It's really unique and fun. And the song is just a lot of fun. I think for me, I'm going to drop it down 1. Really good song. I like it quite a bit, but I think it's probably like American Town for me. Like a really good song, but probably just a little lower than everything else. Still good. Next up, we got Spring, and this is my first real huge complaint with this album. This complaint is not about the song. The complaint is about the track order. Spring has what I would call last track vibes. Not only is it a song about pushing through autumn and winter and trying to make it forward to spring and get through the hard times, it also musically has that feeling of just wrapping things up. The last track on this album, Head Over Heels, it's a good song, but it does not have last track vibes. It's just a very like nice love song to wrap the album up in. So this was like a song primed to end an album called Autumn Variations. That's super somber, and this is looking forward to spring at the end of autumn. It should have been the last track. Next time you're arranging songs, call me up. Go, yo, Joel, what has last track's vibes? Like, yo, Ed, spring.
Still watching shows they recommend that don't get good until the end. I could be unwell, but then again, maybe I'm just depressed.
Honestly, as someone who hates the short days and hates being stuck inside with the cold, my winter blues and winter depression just really connects with this song. I'm coming out of it right now, but every time it gets to January, I'm like, oh, the days are so short. It's always dark. I feel so down all the time. So I'm connecting with this, right? I'm really feeling this.
Blue skies, frost fades slowly.
Oh man, those chords are so good. What a song. I think like going into this, I may have thought of that one like an A tier, but honestly, after just hearing it right now, I liked it so much more. I think I'm going to have to give it an S tier. Yeah? It's my list. I can do what I want. Let's give it an S tier. Yeah. I may not like Fruit Punch, but boy, do I love a good punchline. Punchline is another song looking back at a relationship and not being over it. I feel like this one has more of a context of like maybe being used by the person. Like the pre-chorus says like, I was just like a way for you to change, but like it was never like serious about me. So it's a really good song. It's got very like visceral kind of blunt lyrics. Like, they kind of just hit you. So
I can't help but be destructive
right now. Hey, I said they were visceral.
I can't help it.
Oh, yeah. I forgot this. Yeah.
I can't take this letting go. I still feel that we could work it out or something. I can't help it.
Oh, woo! Dude, that is. That ending of that song is so. It just like goes off the hook. It reminds me of Curtains from Subtract. I don't know. Again, I kind of forgot how cool that ending was. So I think I go triple S tier. Punchline. I think without that ending, this song's probably an S tier for me. Like super good, but like wouldn't push it up to those other ones. But like that ending, like just like it's so good. Ed should scream a little more like he used to. That is just it's nasty good. Next up, we got a song asking the question, when will I be all right? This is yet another song that really reminds me of something that could be on Plus. And maybe that's just Ed in his more acoustic raw form. So a lot of the songs remind me of that. But this one in particular kind of reminds me of it just a little bit more. It's also got a very Irish vibe in my American ears opinion. I know Ed has some Irish roots, so maybe it's that's coming through, or maybe I'm completely off base. You let me know. To me, when I hear this sounds, I'm like, that sounds Irish. You know, a lot of the more somber songs on this album are more reflective, or they tell a story or something. I would say When Will I Be Alright is kind of unique in the case that it's really the only one on the album that's just kind of a lament. It's like talking about bad things and almost like a little hint of desperation, like, when am I going to be all right? Of course, if I play the acoustic version, you're not going to get to hear the things that sound Irish to me.
all night thinking about dying. When will I be alright?
Man, this person having all these T's is making me want boba, and I hate it. I hate it. This song's getting an F tier because it's making me want boba, and it's late at night. There's no boba. When will I be all right? I think this song is okay. I think it's a really nice lament, you know, sad about a relationship, girl leaving you. I think, though, it's a little less than the other songs for me. Again, not a bad song, but I'm just going to give it an A tier. I feel like that's a pretty comfortable place for this one to end. Have you ever spent your birthday alone? I'm sorry, that's just a really heavy thing to drop out of nowhere. The Day I Was Born might be for you. This is a song, it's a sad song about spending your birthday alone and not feeling like anyone cares.
This is a life in the city and that's the way it goes. But it's a fine excuse just to leave it. I hit him up and I asked, are you coming over? I'm heading down and now I'm on a roll.
Ooh. That's a really good line. I feel low, but I guess I could feel lower. I've headed down and now I'm on a roll. It's good. Been a while since we got a guitar solo on Ed Sheeran song. The Day I Was Born. This is a really good song. I love the lyrics. I love the mood of the song. It very much feels like that kind of like I'm happy, like going through the motions kind of vibe. I think it's a great song. Do I go A tier? No, I think I gotta go S tier. This is a cool song. It's got a guitar solo in it, and Ed hasn't done a guitar solo in a long time. So I'm gonna just give it S tier just for the guitar solo and the la 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 la, which I clearly can't do. La, la, la. My tongue says no. Finally, we've reached the last track on the album, Head Over Heels, or maybe Head Then Heels. I'm not totally sure actually which one it is. We are about to get steamy. This is like such a spicy way to end the album. It's got like that drum machine vibe, and the lyrics are just like, woo! I still don't think it has Last Track vibes, I'm sorry, Ed. Call me. See? Told you we're getting steamy. He even starts it. He's a cup of tea. See? It's steamy.
Came in the bedroom, looking like a photograph, reminding us and cautioning.
I like how in these verses, the first line of every phrase ends really strong. It's like, da, da. And then the second phrase always kind of like fizzles out like in like a weak kind of way. It's very, very nice.
Crashing in head and heels. Crashing in head and heels.
Okay, I know I've made such a big deal earlier about that not having Last Track vibes, but it kind of does. Spring is still a much better choice lyrically and musically. Don't get me wrong. But maybe I made it too big of a deal. Head Over Heels, or maybe Head Then Heels. I don't know. It's an awesome song. For me, I'm going to go ahead and just kick it up here to Triple S tier. I think for me, those two royalty tiers are like my favorite two on the song. Plastic Bag and Page. I could turn those on any day. Triple S tier, obviously great stuff. S tier, working my way down. There's really nothing bad. I didn't even need the C tier, which I thought I would when I started this. But honestly, I don't dislike anything. Like, if I listen to this album, I don't want to skip a track. I really enjoy it front to back. So there you have it, Autumn Variations, my official tier list. This is an awesome album. I truly like it a lot. I could turn this album on at any point. It just like gets me in the mood. I'm very much a sad song kind of guy, so this is the perfect album for me. If you haven't already seen it, I really did do a massive 2-hour video where I ranked every single song Ed Sheeran has ever put out. That's like the EPs that came before Plus, everything since Plus, and the songs he released before he did those EPs. So please go check that out. If you like this video, it'll be right here. I think you will definitely like it. Also, if you want to do this tier list for yourself, there'll be a link for it in the description down below. Finally, if you've made it this far in the video, why don't you drop an autumn leaves emoji down in the comments to let me know that you're the real one, you made it through this whole thing, and you don't give up early. Also, I release cover songs and original music here on my channel, so if you like this, please consider giving those a listen. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much, and I will see you here next week. Bye. Hey, woo, ladies and gents, it's just a moment you waited for. Searching for the dark, you that smoke it. Feeling your heart, what was real is left behind. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, right at you. It's only this one, it's okay what comes after. It's only this, you're taking all that you want. Tell me, do you want to go? Where it's covered in all the color lights. And the runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true, it's toxicating you. Oh, this is the greatest show.